Hello everyone, welcome back. Today just going to a really quick tabletop drill on restarts. So it's probably only a couple of minutes. And we're going to do that because it's another area that we could just get a little bit better at, and actually we can use the Playmobiles to have a look at that. Right, before we do this, just to explain the layout. So we've got our team here, 9 players represented by the Playmobil characters. You've got Father Christmas, you've got a little boy there, the scrum half, you've got a fly half there. You've got the goal line, 15-metre line, which is roughly about there. And then you've got the halfway line. And you've got the opposition here, represented by the soldiers. And the ball is represented by a flying saucer, which Toby will eat after this. And for Nick, you've got a little tank in the corner. Okay, so some of the reasons we need to practice our restart is there are 2 things that usually goes wrong. Either everyone is too far forward and the ball goes flying over the top, then it becomes a race, and then everybody's offside, everyone's got to get back behind the ball, we end up starting play there or even losing it. The second problem we can have is everyone goes too far back and they kick off. It might not even be a perfect kick and it just dribbles 7 metres, and once it gets to 7 metres it then could be a free-for-all, so we don't have to touch the ball, they can, and we can end up losing the ball or not being in a very good position, everybody all out of the place. It's always also worth noting a couple of things. So if they kick off and the ball goes over that line, it comes all the way back for you to take a scrum. So that's not a bad thing, that's not a bad position to be. Secondly, if it comes straight out and doesn't bounce on the ground, it can come back for a scrum, which is another good thing. Or if they kick it and it bounces out here or bounces out there, it's a free pass to you, which is not too bad a thing, but that's quite a long way back if they kick it quite deep. And then finally, if they kick it and it bounces and it doesn't go dead, if you jump on the ball there and you touch it down, then you come back about 15 metres and you get a restart free kick from about there. And then the third problem is we're not very organised and everyone might think they're catching it. So they kick off and you've got 2 players trying to catch the ball at the same time. One of them knocks on and we lose the ball there. So what does that mean? So beware the short one, because if they kick it and you're not there, they can pick it up. Don't be too worried about the one long one, so you don't need to be right on the goal line, because if it goes dead, then you've got the ball back, so you can come forward a bit. And as we said, if it comes over here, you might just want to be a little bit wide just in case, because it might be more advantageous for you to get the ball and then run it back rather than let it go out. And finally, last thing to think about is the ground in terms of the surface and the wind. So on our pitch we're quite slopey, and in the summer the ground is hard, so that ball will bounce and go much further. And obviously if it's windy, if the wind's in the faces of the opposition, it won't go so far, or if it's against it, it will go there. So when we talk about the layout, you've always got to adapt it to the playing conditions. So first of all, we'll just go through a one former layout for 9-player team. Next season it'll be a bit more, so you might want to do it a bit differently. So first of all, we've got these 3 players here who are there for the short one, just in case, but also they could be blockers as well. I'll come on to that in a bit. And then you've got 3 catchers represented here with their arms out, ready to catch the ball. And then finally you've got 3 support players whose job is, once these guys catch the ball, is to support them as they run into contact or if they get tackled quite deep. So they're the first receiver. The important thing with these guys is they're out of the way of the catcher. They're not in his eyesight and they're not going to catch, and they're always going to communicate with them. Okay, so we're just going to quickly go through a scenario. So kicker kicks off and the ball comes flying out to this guy here. So these guys will follow it up as much as they can. These guys will probably be doing the same to keep a straight line. And as the ball's in the air, these guys are starting to turn and look at what's going on. So this guy here is going to run forward into contact, catches the ball, nice clean catch. The support player right on his shoulder, and he starts to run forward to make space. This player, what he could do without getting in the way is either make it difficult for these defenders to get near him, particularly when the ball's in the air or when they're running up, or probably for us, he gets out the way, either starts running back or stays there and waits for the play to come forward. So he then acts as another support player. So he's a direct support player, gets tackled, into contact, and then what does he do? So he's the first one into the ruck, and he might be the second one into the ruck. While all that was going on, obviously all the other players are starting to congregate. Some will come into support, so the nearest ones should come into support, but leaving someone like the fly half out here, maybe the scrum half comes forward, and then we just set up for a normal play to start attacking, because what they might have done is come quite narrow, and it's an opportunity for us with these players not staying forward, is coming back as well to set up a line and then set up a play and go back to the ones we did in the first demo. Okay, that's it. Hopefully you found that useful or interesting. Look forward to whatever we try and do next week. Thanks very much.